old were you when you did your first brokerage?
I was 24.
Young.
Yeah.
How much money were you cranking at a 24-year-old?
Yeah, I was making like 30, 40 grand a month. That's why I was able to buy my first place in Newport Beach at 25.
That's insane.
My name is Austin Tucker, and I'm on a mission to find the best come-up stories in the world. Everyone talks about success, but no one talks about the in-between. The mess, the risk, the doubt. I'm here for the people who made it anyway and are willing to tell their stories honest, unpolished, and real. These are the Breakout Bunch.
All right, we are here with our fearless leader at eMortgage, Joe Shalaby. Hi, Joe.
Hey, how you doing?
Doing great.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. Thanks for helping me kick off this podcast.
Absolutely. Let's do this.
So, what was like the start of Joe doing an entrepreneur mindset?
The start of my entrepreneurial journey, as indicated in my book, Rising from the Sand, started at a very young age. I was 14 years old, and it started with like the need to serve, and I found like a passion for really pleasing others. So it started at 14 years old, and I found a gap in party life at the time. I noticed that hookah bars were in need of something different than other than people just sitting at a hookah bar and smoking hookah.
You at 14 were in a hookah bar?
At 14 years old. So hookah culture is part of the Egyptian culture. If you visit Egypt, in every apartment there's a hookah bar, like just part of the community.
Okay.
It's just like where all the men just congregate, play backgammon and cards, and smoke hookah.
So you're in Egypt at this time, right? You have
No, I was here in America.
Okay.
But I noticed like the need for something different in that the youth wanted something different than just smoking hookah. They're 14 years old. They're like, we don't want to just smoke hookah. We want to get together with our friends. So I came up with a concept at 14 years old. I said, I'm going to bring in belly dancing and DJs into this hookah bar. And I approached the hookah owners with this idea. And they accepted my proposition because I'm fluent in Arabic and I look like American. So they were like, what's this white kid is like telling us what we should do. Like, sounds interesting. Like, let's take him up on it. And he's Egyptian, but he looks like a white guy. So at 14 years old, I started my first venture.
What were the struggles being 14 and being a business owner? Like, it's hard.
You're a kid and you just have vision, and everyone thinks you're crazy, and I saw a real need for a change in the way that hookah culture was progressing in Anaheim. So I immediately approached them, and it just took off like wildfire. At 14 years old, I reshaped hookah bars, like I would argue, forever in American history. Because from there, everybody just started copying what I was doing.
Right.
And it took off everywhere, in every country, every state. Every hookah bar now has like nightlife, dancing, yada, yada, you know. But it started with just like a need for throwing a party at a hookah bar. It made sense. Like, they're already here. The youth are already here. Like, bring them what they want. So I basically set up like a nightlife type event at the hookah bar under a company called Human Body Entertainment, which was my first like stab at, being an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And it made a lot of sense, and everybody really liked the idea, and it took off. It from there, I was able to go to bigger events. I started throwing nightclubs, full-blown nightclubs, and I always used my language and my community and my culture as an entryway into negotiating with the venue owners.
Right.
Because they were always Middle Eastern, and they were always Arab. They were always Arabic speaking. So I was always able to just kind of like have that immediate connection through the culture and community. So I always leveraged my personal skills, my language skills with venue owners, and it always worked because I could charm anybody.
So why'd you leave that sector? Sounds like you were doing pretty good in it.
No. Honestly, it wasn't very profitable. It was just,
It was just fun?
It was a lot of fun, and it was a lot of, it was a lot of headache, but it was a lot of notoriety.
When you probably learned so much about
Yeah.
business in that time.
Yeah, you learn so much, but you don't think you're learning business. You think you're having a blast. You're like letting all the hot girls in the front of the line, and you're cutting deals, and you're creating VIPs. And I was really fascinated with, like, elite cultures at the time. So I wanted to, from there I was like, I took it up a notch. I started creating, like, more upscale events, and but I was able to just really connect with my friends and bring all my friends together. And that's something I'm still passionate about to this day. Is just like, I like to bring people together.
Of course.
I like to, like, even at this company, it's one big community. I'm a big believer in community and fostering community. And I was able to establish a community through the hookah bar culture, because they're all young Middle Eastern youth, kind of like trying to find their identity. And they're looking at their identity through, hookah bars and nightlife and dancing, break dancing. And it was just, it was the beginning of something beautiful for me. I was like, wow, this is my calling. I pursued, nightlife promotions for probably 15 years after that, in various ways, from, in and out after college. I still threw parties. I had my own brand, personal brand. It was called Baby Joe Presents.
Joe.
So I was 16 years old throwing parties for 21-year-olds. And so I was a youth throwing adult parties under a personal brand. So I've always established a personal brand, and just dominated the nightlife culture. It was cool to be that young and so prominent in nightlife. And I was making a living. My parents were like, dude, you cannot throw parties for a living. You're going to have to go to med school.
You're going to burn yourself out.
You're going to have to go to med school. You're not going to be a party promoter. I wanted to be like the biggest party promoter in the world at the time. So,
Then did you go to med school?
No. I went to college. I finished college at 19, early 20, because I skipped high school last 2 years. So I was in college at 16. At 16 through 18, I was an actor, and I was throwing parties at the nightclub right around the corner from the college.
Were you in any movies or was it movies or TV shows?
I just did commercials, and
Okay.
I did plays.
What was your biggest commercial? Anything
It's like
we
a
would
Pepsi
know?
commercial and a
No way.
Philip Morris commercial. But yeah, I'm actually today, oddly enough, I was on the Zoom meeting with an executive producer of a movie coming out he's in negotiation with Lionsgate, and he's got a TV show called Go Fund Yourself. He's the executive producer of, and I'm going to be one of the main characters, or one of the main titans on that TV show.
Really?
And that TV show is in negotiations with ABC, and it's supposed to take over Shark Tank. So, and he's just like, dude, you are a smash on this, for this show. Like, you are the exact person we need. Like, so I'm going to start that show. I start filming next July 24th. But he's also like, I'm producing a couple movies. I'm like, listen, I'm a failed actor. If you want to throw me in some movies, I'll take it. I need to add that to my bio anyway.
And this is all from you leaning more into that influencer status, right?
All this stuff has spun from my quest to build a massive personal brand. All of it.
And that started at a super young age, way before being an influencer was even a thing.
Yeah. That started as a youth, and then I just kind of brought it back a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? I'm going to be a personal brand again under my real name, not an alias. And started the podcast, started the influencer persona on social media, released the book, started doing speaking engagements all over the country, and here I am.
So after you did your acting and all your other ventures, how did you end up getting into mortgage and starting that realm?
So in college, I went to college, like I went to UCSB after junior college. I was 20 years old, and I wanted to go to get my doctorate in sociology. And I had a friend who works at EMC now. He was also very much a visionary at the time, big party promoter. And and he was like, he was a big party promoter, and he was also in the mortgage space, and he's like, Joe, you cannot be a college professor. You're not going to just sit back, smoke joints all day, and sit on the beach and teach classes. You will be broke, and you definitely won't be able to live in Newport Beach. So I was like, wow, you know what? You're probably right. I want to live in Newport. I can't live in Santa Barbara dead broke. I want to continue to maintain the lifestyle that I've always wanted. And apparently, you know, $70,000 as a college professor is not going to get me there.
No.
So I immediately saw the writing on the walls that academia was not the path I was going to pursue. Obviously, party promotions, being in the mortgage space would allow me to still throw parties and make money. So, because party promotions were never really super profitable. They paid, they didn't pay well, they didn't pay enough to live. So you always had to have like a real job.
Right.
So then immediately I started pursuing the mortgage space with no real vision, with no real direction, with no training, just purely like, here's a phone book, convince this guy to get a mortgage. Like, that's it. That's how I started.
Right.
And it took a year before I made a penny. And from there I started doing a lot of deals. 1 year later, what happened was the catalyst for me starting my own mortgage company was because I had worked for a mortgage broker, and at the time the mortgage industry was the wild, wild west. So the mortgage broker took my money like several times. I worked for 3 different brokers, and every single one I worked for would take my commissions. Like, I'd do a deal, they'd mess with the commission. Do a deal.
There's always a reason why you don't get the full
do another
thing,
deal.
right?
This time we're just not gonna pay the commission. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, this is crazy.
You had no control.
This is an industry, and you just get robbed all the time. So I then just, I was like, you know what? I'm a college grad. The requirements to become a broker are just like, take the test, couple finance classes, and you pass the real estate broker's exam, and boom, you're a mortgage broker. So I said, forget it. I'm just gonna be a mortgage broker. So, 2005, I sat for my broker's exam, and I started my first company. But I was dead broke again because I had to go back to the drawing board. I studied for the exam, went back to my mom's house, lived dead broke for 3 months while I studied for the exam because I didn't want to take the exam and fail it. So I just made sure I passed it, killed it the first time.
What was that feeling? That feeling like you went to college, you were probably seeking some sort of stability in a job, but then you decided, I'm going to go a route that will set me up later, but right now I got to struggle, move back in with mom, be broke to succeed down the path.
What was the mindset, or
the mindset, the feeling? Like, that's a scary time. I've been through it. You're like, I hope this works.
Yeah. I always like to go on faith. I feel like God directs my steps, so I took a blind leap of faith, and I tell people all the time when they join our company, it's like, you gotta just believe in yourself. You gotta believe that you're gonna be the entrepreneur that you want to be. So I took that blind leap of faith, and I started my own company. It was crazy. But I was already exposed to like call centers, lead gen, marketing, so I had a good pulse on how to drive in business. And that's something till this very day I'm passionate about.
Well, and even with your club promoting at 14, I feel like that helped you because you had to go out and find those connections and everything.
Yeah, so I knew how to get customers in the door. Like, one of the first marketing campaigns I did was the same marketing campaign I did for throwing a party, which was, when I would throw parties, you would have to basically print flyers and hand them to people that you don't know. You go to different places. You go to the mall. You go the block. You go to Irvine
You're
Spectrum.
that guy on the corner of the street. Hey, come here.
And you just basically hand out flyers to people, and you tell them, hey, come to my party. Come to my party. There was no social media. There was no way to touch 10,000 people at once.
Right.
It was just like manual labor. On weekends, I would grind the streets, and I would canvas, and I would tell people about my party, and I would get them to come to my party. I used that same strategy when I launched my mortgage company. I went to apartments I printed this like in the same fashion. I printed a flyer that said, "Stop renting now. Buy your house." And I went to every apartment in my local area, and I just dropped flyers on all the doors, and it worked.
Do you think that would work today?
Yeah, that strategy still till this day would work.
Yeah.
It would still work.
I think it could work in multiple different industries too.
Yeah, I mean,
it's boots on the ground marketing.
It's guerrilla marketing. It still works till this very day. It's still effective.
Yeah, it's funny. There actually is a lot of marketing techniques that you think wouldn't work these days. Like direct mail seems like a thing of the past.
It still works.
I love it. It's a great marketing strategy.
Yeah.
But people don't think that everyone thinks you have to be on Instagram, which you do.
Yeah,
But
we do.
you need to have multiple forms of marketing.
Well,
It can't just be one way.
The social media is social proof that you
Right.
exist. It's not just. It's like rising tides lift all ships. You must have a brand so that people can do their due diligence to make a decision. Not only that, I'm going to be talking about this and releasing my next book about AI indexing, but AI now indexes you based on your social media content, not just your Google searchability.
Really?
So like your content, you chat GPT yourself, it's going to derive a decision based on all the data that it aggregates, not just your reviews.
I didn't know that.
So you have to have a full brand, not just like some reviews,
A Google
website.
page.
That's not enough.
Yeah.
That's not enough to make a decision for AI to reason and make a decision for a consumer, which is where we're headed. AI, you just ask ChatGPT or Grok or whatever, anything, and it will decide.
I mean, Google even has an AI feature in it now.
Yeah,
I got
Gemini.
the thing last night. It was like, do you want AI to assist you in how you find your answer or whatever, which probably uses that index to pop
Yeah.
them up first.
Yeah, exactly. It also pull all your data, all your social profiles, everything that you posted, etc.
So back to you started your mortgage company. I know eventually down the line you ended up partnering with Sam. Like, how long did you run that mortgage company before you guys made
That
the
mortgage
partnership?
company started in 2005 and it ended in 2009, 2010. Then I started a loan modification company 2010. That went until 2012. Then I started eMortgage.
How old were you when you did your first brokerage?
I was 24.
Young.
Yeah.
How much money were you cranking at a 24-year-old?
Yeah, I was making like 30, 40 grand a month. That's why I was able to buy my first place in Newport Beach at 25.
That's insane.
Yeah. Like as a kid, I was making a ton of money. I mean, I've been making a ton of money since I was young.
I mean, that's the whole idea behind what we're doing is like you don't need to wait till you're old or have an inheritance.
That was
to
a
make
ton of money for me.
That's a ton of money now.
No, it's not, because now, I work with YouTube influencers making 7 figures. They're 18, 19.
No, of course, but to the average person, like I told my friend how much money we were making over here, and he was like, "That's just unreal money." I'm like, "It's not. You just need to go out and get it. You need to work and
It's
trust in
not
yourself
unreal
and
money.
believe in yourself."
I mean, I hang out with people that trade crypto futures and they make millions.
Yeah,
They're in their 20s.
it's
Yeah.
it's crazy what can be possible if you take a risk and bet on yourself and get uncomfortable.
Yeah, and that's the whole point. It's like you got to just you got to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. And I've always been comfortable with being uncomfortable till this very day. You see the content that I do. I go out into the streets and I talk to random people that I've never met.
Right.
And I make them do crazy things.
Like eat spiders.
Tarantulas, bugs.
Yeah.
I got a lot of bugs delivered today. And
You got a bug guy?
on Saturday, I will be doing my antics, going out into the streets, making people eat the world's hottest hot sauce, making people eat bug kebabs, making people eat scorpions, making people eat. I don't make them eat. I just challenge them to
Right.
eat it.
Yeah, you pay them.
And by the way, it's all
$20.
edibles. They're dehydrated.
Right.
And they're sometimes seasoned. Most of the time seasoned. They're from Amazon, so they're all edible. And I make people do crazy stuff because it's hilarious.
It is. I
And,
watch it. It's
yeah.
all over my pages every day.
Yeah, it's so funny and it's so fun, and people love it, and they like doing it. And I'll go to a full house party in Newport on the water, and I'll be the life of that party. I'll just walk up to the whole party, and walk up to the most beautiful women, and challenge them to eat a beetle.
I mean, you just have that in you that like you have no fear.
Yeah.
Which I really respect. Like you're just like, you know what? I have an idea. I'm going to do it, and I don't care if it's hard, easy.
But
if I
can you
look
imagine
stupid.
walking up to a smoking hot girl in a bikini and telling her, for $50, would you eat a scorpion?
I could do it, but I don't. Me and you are kind of similar in that retrospect.
Yeah.
Like we'll just go do things. Like if someone
Yeah.
challenged me to do something, I'm going to do it.
Yeah, so I have nothing
no
that's
shame.
like a lot of people won't do that. You know,
Yeah.
a lot of people are like, I don't have the confidence to walk up to that girl and make her do that.
So what's your advice to someone who doesn't have the confidence to start posting on Instagram because they feel like their friends are going to say that, that's stupid, you look awkward, you do this, you don't make any sense, whatever. Like all the hate.
Here's my advice. This comes from my mentor. My mentor is much more successful than me. He happens to own a sports team. And he says, nobody cares. Nobody cares, Joe. Like, because I told him after my divorce, I'm like, Matt, what do you say, with the community? Like, you're part of the Jewish community. Like, what'd they say to you? He's like, I don't care. Nobody cares. Like, I didn't care what they said about me. Like, I'm in the Coptic community, the Egyptian community. Like, being divorced is like, oh, you're a divorced guy. Like, but nobody cares. Really, nobody really cares. And they don't.
So you're saying just do it.
I thought they cared, but they don't care. Nobody cares. Everyone has their own thing to worry about. Nobody cares about what your Instagram post is. Nobody's going to remember. And you have to just get uncomfortable for a little bit. And then you'll be comfortable with it.
Well, and the funny thing is, I was posting a lot of reels at one point, and I thought they were all like ridiculous and stupid. And I sounded like an idiot. But most people actually were like, I'm really jealous that you have the balls to do this. And like, they actually were like, this is funny. You need to keep doing this. I got more support than I did hate.
Yeah. And to me, I love hate. Like, I like to see the comments when there's haters just to see what they're saying.
Well, if you got haters, you're winning.
Yeah. So like, if I didn't get hate, like I posted something kind of went pretty viral. Yesterday I had like, 500-600 shares. And I didn't get any hate because it was just too relatable.
Right.
I'm like, oh, it was like me just kind of, my 4-year-old shot the video.
No way.
He shot it, and I was just rocking myself on the couch. And I didn't get much hate, but I'm like, some content you put out, everyone's like, I love it, it relates. And some content you put out, everyone's like, dude, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
But
you win some, you lose some.
They never remember anyways.
Well, I feel like that's the same thing with just being in business is you can't win every battle, and sometimes you just have to try to find the next thing. Like you gotta get through the failures to find a win. Like you went through like 4 or 5 different things to figure out what's gonna work for you and make you money, make you happy.
Which is several things. I continue to go through things. I'm going through things right now. Just the journey.
Yeah. So when you partnered with Sam, was that kind of like the big like...
So I partnered with Sam because I knew one thing I'm good at, which is bringing in business. I'm I'm one of the best salesmen, I would say, on the planet.
I could 100% attest to this.
So that's all I could do. Like that's all I'm good at. Like I don't really have much other talent. And I knew that Sam, like, he's an operator. He's an engineer.
He's super methodical.
Yeah,
with every
so
move he makes.
Every move he makes, he overthinks it. He's very calculated. Like, I needed someone to just hone in my vision.
Right.
And I approached him in 2020. I was already doing very well.
When you guys were friends from like high school,
Yeah,
right?
from high school.
Yeah.
And I said, Sam, let's create something beautiful, And he already owned his lender. I owned my mortgage company. I'm like, listen, you lost one of your top guys to us because we're a broker. We're paying better, and you're a full lender, and your margins are high, and it's hard for you to compete with a company like us. And that's going to keep happening. All of your talent's going to leave because big fish will eat little fish. And that's just what... I was pretty big at the time, but I was making like no money.
Yeah.
And it took some convincing because till this very day, the biggest thing I deal with, because when we recruit, we deal with ego.
Right. And
Especially
salespeople probably have the biggest ego I've ever seen.
Especially mortgage company owners. Mm-hmm. So Sam was like, I can't believe I'm going to forego my HUD delegated lender and partner with you. But I'm like, dude, we're gonna make a lot more money. We're gonna dominate. We're gonna grow very, very quickly. And within a year, like we were doing, 500 million a month. So
Well, and something that's really impressive is like, because I came on in end of 2020, and we had like maybe 150, 200 LOs, and then today we have 900. But we grew like 3x in the worst market we've had in potentially ever.
Yeah.
How did you manage that?
Relentless pursuit of vision. Like, I'm still like obsessed with growing the company. I'm still thinking that we're very much in our infancy stages. And every single day I wake up with one goal, like dominate, grow the company, grow the brand, grow the ecosystem, add more resources, add more technology. We're just getting started. We're just getting started.
Which we're doing that every day. I mean,
every
I'm
single
lucky
day.
to be able to see it myself. Like, our tech is increasing every day. Our marketing department's getting better every day.
Every day.
All of our value adds are growing like crazy.
Every single day.
And like, it's really apparent.
Just like my social media.
Yeah.
Every single day, I'm getting more followers, more views. It's all like, everything is brick by brick.
Well, and everything we're doing is almost like, it's not in increments. Like, we're launching like big stuff all the time.
All day long. Everything is brick by brick. Every single day I come in with some new idea, all I do is just come up with crazy ideas all day long.
Yeah, and you just execute them. If they work or not,
yeah.
it doesn't matter. I have this idea, we're going to do it.
Yeah. And I don't have time because we're a big company now. It's got to go through this guy and that guy for QC. I'm like, I'll just stroke the check right now and I'll figure it out later. Like, I'm not going to wait on this department to sign off and that department to sign off. I don't got time for that.
Yeah, just go.
We got to go.
Yeah.
We got to do it right now.
I love that mentality because that's how we have grown.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people disagree with it. Sam definitely has a problem with it, because it's, as we get bigger and the stakes are higher.
Right.
So we just have to continue to be calculated to some extent, but we don't want to lose sight of the fact that it's all about executing on vision as it comes to you at that moment. Because if you do it later, the vision's gone, or it's delayed, or it's outdated, or you got some new idea.
Yeah, and you talk about it all the time with like AI and stuff. Like, if you're not on it now, you're too late already.
Yeah.
Like, something new comes out, you got to hop it.
Jump on it immediately. Immediately execute. Same with your brand building. Like, if you're not building your brand, you're toast in a couple of years. You're not going to be, I'm going to eat your lunch. Like, don't build your brand. I'm just going to do your business for you.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I'm telling everyone at the EMC at our own company. You don't build your brand, I'm just going to eat your lunch. No big deal. You just won't have any lunch.
You'll be starving. So what's the future for like all the stuff you got going on? You have so many things. Your books, your podcast, your influencing, your company.
Yeah. I just, again, hopefully I'd like to be a movie star. I'd like to be a best-selling author. I'd like to be the top podcaster in the world. I'd like to be the #1 founder CEO that ever happened. I'd like to come out with some cool AI. I'd like to, the goals just keep, I'm never finished.
And that's how it should be.
Yeah, I'm
it
never
should never
finished.
be enough.
I'm going to be a TV show host. That's happening. That's going to happen. So I'm going to add that to my resume. Like, the resume just keeps looking better. So top podcaster, top mortgage influencer, best-selling author, mortgage founder, CEO. It just keeps, like, the rooms that I get to sit in as I add these accolades just keep inspiring me more.
How do you juggle all these things?
Just all day
Like, there's
long.
only so much time in your day. Like,
Yeah, and then all that, and then like my biggest priority is making sure I get my kids through jiu-jitsu or football today. That's my big priority.
Yeah, which thank you for even making time for this, because this is huge.
So, like,
I know you got a ton
again,
of stuff to do.
That's the most important thing to me, is making sure I get, like, as soon as I leave here, straight to jiu-jitsu. Both kids are jiu-jitsu. Then I take them both. One of them has football. 4 o'clock football, 4 to 5:30 football. 5 football. My other son has jiu-jitsu. He's in jiu-jitsu. My daughter's in dance. So I got 4 kids. All of them are in activities. They're all at junior guards right now. Like,
and then you go to the gym.
Yeah,
you have your self-care.
Yeah.
You have a company to run, and you'd have basketball here and there.
Yeah,
like,
we got a basketball game tonight.
Exactly.
Hopefully I can make that.
I don't know how you juggle all this stuff, but
it's just go mode all day.
So
I got an ex-wife, a girlfriend, and they're friends.
That is incredible. I'm sure that's a lot of fun.
Yeah. My ex-wife invests with my girlfriend.
It's a cool way for this all to come back together.
Yeah.
But so what's your advice? Like, if you can give one piece of advice to someone who wants to change their life and maybe follow your footsteps, or even just do a quarter of what you do to be successful in life.
Great question. I live by this mantra: do God's work. He always does your work. Period.
Okay.
Like, do God's work first, and then the rest falls into place. I do one thing. Even when I was young, even though it was kind of self-seeking, because I always sought to serve people, to bring people together so that they could experience fun and community and joy. And I continued that idea. Like, that God has been teaching me as a youth how to bring people together. I always sought to bring people together, and I still do that till this very day. Although when I was young, I didn't look at it like I was doing God's work. As I grew and became wiser, I'm like, I've just been doing God's work. It's just been in a different setting. Like, I've just been bringing people together, make sure they have fun, and showing love and showing joy and showing community. And everything just falls into place.
And I have a rather similar goal with this podcast. Is I want to make a networking group of like-minded individuals, and like, not just go sit at some bar with finger foods and 2 drink tickets, but like, let's all get together and go play kickball. Like, let's go make friends. Let's go have fun and like enjoy our networking event to a different level. Because sitting at a table with a bunch of people eating finger foods is just boring to me. I want to bring everyone together where we can enjoy our time and give each other referrals from different industries and whatnot, but actually have fun at a networking event. And I think you can do that at all ages.
You can.
Like, everyone can enjoy and have something in common if you're all business owners. But we'll see how that goes. We need to get a lot more guests on this show to get that to be a reality.
Keep inspiring that. Come up with a way to get people together. It's a great idea. Kickball is a great sport.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be kickball. It could be football. It could be anything. Yeah. Ice baths, do ice bath challenges, have a DJ, let's make it fun. And it's all starting with everyone on this podcast. That's going to be the start of it.
The podcast is a great forum to do that.
The room you get in with people is amazing. And everyone who has been supporting so far, even though we haven't even gotten that many episodes filmed, has been great. Yeah. It just keeps on coming.
You'll see how many more connections you get. The podcast has been a big door opener for me. Huge door opener for me. And it will be for you too.
Well, I'm excited. Well, I know you got a million things to do, so let's just cut it here.
Let's go, baby.
I appreciate you. You've been a great leader. I love working for your company, and can't wait for many more years. And also, thank you for letting me use your studio.
Oh. Come on, I want you to dominate. Let's go.
Let's go. To everyone who made it to the end, I appreciate you and all the support you've given so far. Stay tuned for weekly episodes, and if you know anyone who might be a good candidate for the show, please drop it in the comments below or shoot me a DM.